Lightworkers Unite is a podcast and social show hosted by intuitive women, lightworkers, and most importantly, friends, Mayume and Manjeet. Welcome to our podcast, where we believe there is a lightworker within all of us.
Whether you are a medium, an educator, or a nuclear technologist, there's a lightworker within you, and we have work to do.
This is a call to action.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. We're together. Cheers. And I love this because we can talk over each other and it'll record it at the same time.
Wow.
It won't be two different audios coming together, right?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
I love it.
I
Look
love
at us
it.
sitting next to each other.
We're looking at each other. I mean, I know we do that when we're,
on Zoom.
I know, but this is
different.
It is different. And we are together today because, shall we say why?
Yeah.
So we did a house clearing this morning, yes,
we
which
did.
was awesome.
Yes.
And we're a little drained.
So amazing.
It was so amazing. I loved it. And then we're also here to package some goddess goblets for our goddesses that are joining us for the upcoming goddess gathering.
Right. We have Gula coming up in September, which is already sold out.
It is.
Sorry. But there is the goddess gathering that we're putting together.
The Harvest Moon.
The Harvest Moon. Yeah. And we will be announcing that goddess that we'll be invoking next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, as we get closer. We were
Right.
thinking maybe a couple weeks beforehand, right?
Yes. Just so that we can start bringing in that energy.
Yeah, preparing so people know what to wear to the goddess gathering because for those who haven't attended, we it's kind of cool. We kind of get in touch with the energy, and then we ask or kind of sense the colors or maybe the type of jewelry the goddess would wear or that would resemble the goddess. And then we talk about colors, gemstones, drinks.
Yeah. Would you say that we're channeling?
I would say.
Energy?
Way to go, Manj. Yes. Yes, we are channeling the goddess energy.
Right? It's really like a total download of like what they're like who they were, how they were on this planet, potentially, and what kind of stones that feel powerful to them. And then we bring that to life. Yeah.
I know. It's kind of cool. I like it a lot. It's kind of, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's kind of cool. No, I think it's magical.
Yes.
I believe that our ladies, that our participants are enjoying it. They love it. So each participant in these ones that we've been doing monthly so far before the in-person one have been 90 minutes, although it does go a little longer, 90 minutes on Wednesday nights. And we have a beautiful ritual or ceremony that we put together with the sounds of the goddess, of how we would invoke her. And people dress up in the colors that we say, and we do channel readings for each individual, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's what's been happening.
Yeah. And I just thought that was interesting because we're starting with the goddess gatherings, and our conversation today is all about what is channeling and what does it mean, and how does it feel when you do that? Like, that's kind of what I'm curious about, is how does it feel for you to channel energy,
Well, I think there's a couple different types of channeling. So that you've heard people talk about mediums who are channeling a person, a loved one, or a spirit, and their body has become taken over,
right?
And they have no memory of it as well. So it's kind of like, have you heard of Esther and Esther Hicks and Jerry Hicks, where she was a channeler of Abraham. And so when she would do that, she is, of course, invoking that consciousness into her consciousness, and she's speaking the words of that other consciousness.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm like, consciousness.
The word is consciousness. I know, and it feels like, I think sometimes, is that really physical then? Like, does she actually physically change her voice and
She does
like,
not.
okay, because that's
But
a different kind of
it's,
channeling,
I
isn't
think
it?
it's kind of, that's so interesting. I think it's the same, but no, I think you're right. She doesn't change her voice or the likeness of her, where there are others that change their voice or even have an accent.
Yeah.
And yeah, and which freaks me out because I wouldn't want to give my body over to
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think it's phony baloney or
Mm-hmm.
like, are you kidding me? This is so fake.
Yes.
And it's hard to validate
Mm-hmm.
because we're getting information from spirit. I am connecting with loved ones. And sometimes I can feel the way they laugh or the way they talk
Yes.
or the words they
Yes.
use. So I'll kind of quote unquote channel their energy and some people say, oh my gosh, that's exactly what they would say, or oh yeah, you're walking the way they are,
Yeah.
or whatever it is. But I'm not giving the spirit my body full
Yeah.
use. And it would be easy, I guess, for me to say, oh hi,
Yeah.
I'm cousin Jerry, you know, change my voice. But I'm not trying to discount mediums that do
Sure.
this
Yeah.
or channelers because I believe that there are that are very real. Like Suzanne Giesemann channels a group of consciousness named Sanaya,
Yeah.
and she does have a change in her voice, and there's an accent, and she talks about it how that takes over, and it says words that she would never really use, and she's
Yeah.
a very high authentic person, like
Yeah.
you know, really well grounded and very knowledgeable, very well educated. She was a Navy commanding officer for like 20 years. So she's not someone that would fake this, right?
Yeah.
But it is interesting where that's a type of channeling that I'm not really comfortable with or resonate with.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't either in that, but I totally agree or feel the same way in that sometimes I'll feel like their energy or or like hunch my back
Yeah.
down or like I'll feel like physically like these are the characteristics of that person.
Yes.
Um,
Where they give it to us.
right. And then I feel like I need to say it or I'll, like my throat will get really raspy and I'll kind of like feel like I need to like get that out. But I know that's not me. That's their
Yes.
energy.
Right.
But it's not like a full surrendering of my
Ah,
body.
there you
of,
go.
you
Full
know,
surrendering.
right?
Yes.
It's not like I'm gonna just like have this entity take over, and then I don't remember what I said.
Yes.
I don't. I agree. I honor the people that can do that,
I know.
but that's not what we do.
That's
Yeah.
not what we do. We channel the energy of the goddess and where we kind of tap into her or it. And then the energy kind of, we use our senses, our clairs,
Yeah.
our clairvoyance and clairaudience and clairsentience and all the others, and really bring in the message through our senses, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely is like not a full surrendering, but almost just like a processing. Like
Yeah.
we are processing that information and then bringing it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even this last one, I have to say, we had Shakti.
Airplane.
I know.
Can you guys? We're outside, by the way, guys. There's an airplane going by. Sorry.
So we're obviously meant to really talk about
I was gonna
this.
say, and talk
Yeah.
louder. Yep.
But we're talking about Shakti, which is like a really powerful entity, right? Goddess energy. That was our last gathering, where it was interesting because she wasn't really like in physical form for either of us.
That's
she
right.
was very ethereal. She was
Yes.
kind of like phasing in and out of our energy. So it was very interesting, but it was kind of one of the I don't often feel a lot of like I can boundary myself pretty well from like channeling other people and guides or whatever for other people, but this was one of the I definitely felt angry.
Oh.
Remember there was one
Yes.
reading and I just could feel like anger for this
Yes.
person, that we were reading in the goddess circle. And I was like, my whole body was just like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Like I was just so
Yeah.
mad and I could feel that, for
Now,
so
would you say
that's
that
interesting.
anger coming from the goddess, Shakti, or do you feel like you were tapping into the participant's energy?
It was weird because it felt both. I felt like it was validation that her anger was justified. That because I think that was
Gotcha.
actually what I was saying to her is,
Yeah.
you have every right to feel angry, and Shakti is with you.
Yeah.
She's saying it's okay to be angry because I think a lot of times women don't allow ourselves to really feel
Yeah.
that energy as well. And Shakti's kind of a badass. So,
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, you're allowed to get mad. You're allowed to go, you know what, this is bullshit. And you're not allowed to treat me that way or whatever is happening.
Right.
And so it was just about, we don't want to stay in anger, of course. But, there's a process that has to happen with that energy, that emotion that really does serve us.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times women don't want to acknowledge that they're angry. They'll shove it down or pretend like they're not angry or
Right. I'm
hide it.
fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it was kind of like
You felt that.
she was validating this other
Yeah.
woman's, anger.
Anger.
And I think that's important to do,
Yeah.
to validate each other's feelings.
Yeah.
And we do that a lot in the
Absolutely.
circle. So,
We do, and I think the women do it for each other.
yes. Yeah.
I think they've come to kind of be familiar with one another, especially that we have 6 that signed up ahead of time for all 4 of those.
Yeah.
And so they're starting to kind of know each other and say hi and really support one another, which is
Yeah.
what we want to do is we're bringing these beautiful, like-minded, like-hearted souls together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And bringing these women together, but also like connecting them to this sovereign goddess energy. And, some of them may have inhabited this planet, some may not have. But I think that what's interesting is we would never be able to access that goddess energy
Right.
if we weren't channeling them,
Yeah.
right?
Right,
Like
'cause
we could read a book and we can talk about it, but to really feel like Freya, to really feel her, like,
Yeah.
right? We're channeling that,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yes, that's the intention. That's our intention, and that's what we decided we were going to do. Like, how about we, the 2 of us together, being more powerful than one, really invoke this goddess entity or goddess energy, right? And see how that one feels and what do they have to say, and with the intention of really honoring each participant's need at the time and what do they need to hear. So I think we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into really until we
Okay,
started.
great. Yeah.
And they were like, oh, after that first one with Uzumi, it was like, holy shit,
yes.
this is real. This fucking shit is real.
Yeah, like it was almost like I know, like I know we're kind of talking a lot about the goddess
I know,
gatherings, but
it's really
because
about
it really does. I think it was a big awareness for us that we were actually really channeling them.
yeah.
Which I mean, I guess maybe sounds a bit blasphemous, like to some,
Sure, sure.
but it really it doesn't feel that way.
No.
Really, it feels actually very pure, very sovereign. Like I feel like a vessel, like I feel like
Right.
this is like I'm such an honor to
Yeah,
right to have these messages come through.
That was the idea and the intention.
Yeah.
And I think the women that are joining us know that we're not here to be like, look at, look at it's much more of, how do we serve
Right.
using the information and the guidance from these beautiful entities so we can tap into our loved ones, right? We can connect with them. We can connect with spirit guides, can connect with angels. So I connect with archangels as well. I have connected with Jesus at one point, and I've even had Mother Mary appear in a reading to help give someone some advice and guidance and love. So why couldn't we
Yeah.
tap into a goddess energy, like you said, someone that may have walked this earth ages ago, that was well known. There's writings about them, so why not?
Yeah.
And we figured, hey, yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Another
totally.
reason to get women together to bring them power, confidence, connection, guidance.
Yes.
I just love it so much.
Love, yeah, unconditional love and sexuality,
Yeah.
embracing like our sexual power. Like
Right.
this
Divine
is
feminine. Yeah.
yeah, like that I think that's the part with of the goddess energy is, our history, it has been like decimated in like now. We don't have really a lot of history of these sovereign, powerful women. And so this feels like a way to give back. Like, oh no, we remember you.
Yeah.
We honor you. We want to be a part of that. We want to own our feminine power and own our sexuality and own our strength and our wisdom and our divine purpose here.
Yes.
And I just love
And our
that.
divine right to be here.
Yes, yes, yes. So it was interesting how we so for channeling,
Yes. Sorry.
what how does it feel for you when you are, say, channeling, like the goddess, like I will just keep the goddess energy because I'm sure it feels different.
It does. And I don't necessarily, well, with the goddesses, and I'm sure with you, that's my intent is to channel or to really deeply connect so that I can feel the goddess, feel her energy, and then what's the message. So, but when I'm channeling, and again, that's not my intention in mediumship is to channel someone. That's much more to connect and be soul to soul connection and picking up on their energy, their message. But at times they'll use my body or use my voice, but I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
Of like, I'll say, "Oh gosh, I feel like I want to talk in a gravelly voice,"
Yeah.
and I'll say words that I wouldn't normally use, and so that feels very different than the goddesses to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels different. Like I'm still picking up on their energy, but I'm sitting there, I'm talking to them like I'm talking to you. So it's like you and I are talking and you're telling me a little bit about yourself. And then I sense it and say, okay, so hey, Manjeet is talking to me and she's got this really beautiful laugh, as I'm listening to her talk to me. And then I start talking like you. So that's different than bringing in a goddess energy that's really almost in me.
Yeah.
Where we're blending, I should say, our auric fields are like we're blending energies.
Yes, yes, yeah, I agree. And I know we talked about this in another episode, but my intention is like a couple weeks before. So I'm always
right.
I'm a little open, a couple weeks before.
Yeah, we did talk about that, and I'm like, hell no.
Which makes sense because you're actually channeling and using that energy on the daily, where I'm not.
Right.
So for me it feels very open to
Yeah.
be able to say, okay, Shakti or Freya, what do you got for me? And
Yeah,
I'll start getting like little hits, the whole
I
time.
love that.
But then I, kind of
Yeah.
sock it away, and then as we
Yeah.
get closer, but I just think that's really interesting because that could be a way that I am channeling. I have to do it incrementally almost. Like
Right, you're building.
I'm building that muscle, like to connect with her.
Yes.
Because I don't channel as much as you do.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that, and I think that's kind of fun to think about.
Yeah,
like
I think so too.
Everyone's process is really different around all of the lightworker stuff. How are we being clairvoyant? How are we being psychic? How are we seeing premonition? How are we channeling? It's our own process, and honoring that is, kind of interesting that we do it differently.
Right.
But the end result is like unbelievable.
I think it complements each
Yeah,
other.
totally. Yeah.
I think that's why we chose to do this is because, two is always better than one. And I think we have different techniques and different energies and we see different things. Maybe that's on purpose. I always wondered this. Do you think the goddess comes in saying, okay, ladies, I've got you both now. Manjeet likes to get information this way. Mayume likes to do it this way. And so, and they give us, maybe they're trying to relay the same message for that, for the participant. And but maybe the message is stronger or more impactful if she uses the both of us to complement the message as opposed to us having the exact same message.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
totally. Yeah, I think that's true. And I think that's what's really interesting about channeling,
Yeah.
right? Is that, you know, when you are open and you're using your strengths, you're able to receive that information in a way
Yes.
that can be delivered, because channeling is really, you're the you're the conduit, you're
Conduit.
the bridge, right? You're the one delivering the message, or you know,
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense that they would be using language and technique that serves us, that
Right,
works for us.
individually.
Yeah.
Yes, I agreed. Yes, and so the word channeling to me and connecting, because when I do my work, I'm always saying I'm going to connect with spirit guides, angels, and loved ones. I never say channel, right? I think channeling is just a tiny bit separate
Yeah.
than connecting or receiving messages. So channeling is definitely a little closer, like blending energies. And like you said earlier in the podcast here, is that sometimes channeling is really taking on or allowing them to take over our body and our voice. And so when people hear channeling, I think they do think it's scary, or
Yes. Yeah.
oh great, you're going to be Whoopi Goldberg, in Ghost.
Yeah.
And so I always tend to steer away from channeling
Yeah.
that word, just because I don't want it to be related to anything that could be negative. But when it comes to, let's say, automatic writing, right, which is something I teach in my journaling jam sessions, I I do believe that is another form of channeling. It's, yes, I'm connecting,
Yes.
but it's channeling because I am really truly trying to connect on a deep, deep soul level with someone, and I'm having them use my thoughts, my mind, my hand as I write the words on the paper to let it flow so that it
Yeah.
almost doesn't feel like mine,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, and I was like, I loved your journaling jam sessions, because I did one the other, there, I think your last session.
Yeah.
I loved it. I
Oh,
loved
you're
it so
so
much.
sweet. Thanks.
And you definitely, my handwriting was different. Like I could see that my handwriting was, like, my letters were smaller and they were kind of pointed to the left, which I don't normally
Oh, you
write
didn't
this.
tell me this. Interesting.
Yeah, if you look back at my, like, when I was reviewing it after, I was like, wow, it doesn't
It's
even really
different.
look like my
Oh
writing.
my
It
God, that's awesome.
actually, like, looks different.
Yeah.
But I know for me, and I know you know this about me, but for the automatic writing, I had so many symbols. So it was a
Ah,
lot of, like,
like,
hieroglyphic type
like,
squiggles,
oh my gosh.
and then, like, it was like a different language. It felt like a really, it feels weird. And I, and then letters, like numbers, and then geometric
I've never seen
signs.
it. I'd
Yeah.
love to see that.
Oh yeah. Well, in Madison, your beautiful niece,
Yes.
my third
Hi,
daughter.
Madison. I know you're listening.
Yeah, she's actually does that too. She's
Yes.
had. I hope you don't mind, Madison. I'm sharing this because you're really powerful. But
She really is.
like,
Yeah.
definitely channeling symbols as well, and be, and it's that's all part of it.
Wow.
It's like you're trying to tap into, like, this different dimension where
Yes.
you're getting information.
Yes.
Right? It's just, we just don't know how to decipher that
Right.
yet. So I mean, I have pages and pages of, like, weird, like, squiggles or
Where you're just
writings
spewing.
or things, or, like,
And you're like looking at this going, what the hell is
I
this
don't know
mean?
what this is, but I'm
Yeah.
going for it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
Yeah.
keep it.
Keep
And then,
going.
yeah.
And that's, I think that might be an upcoming podcast. I'm not sure if we talk about journaling and automatic writing. I mean, that's a great topic for people, especially I'm sure people have either tried it or had a diary when they were 10, and I always kind of joke and say this, journaling, spirit journaling is not a diary, entry. It is something where you are really trying to manifest things in your life and you're really trying to connect to someone. And it's been a while since I've done it. And Kyle Gray did this channeling where he was talking about allowing yourself to sit for a minute and ask to channel, right? And instead of writing things down, he wanted us to record, like set up a video and of ourselves and sit to see, because if some of these channelers don't remember,
Yeah, exactly.
so to see what happens through your video. And I wanted to try it. I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, maybe I could do that. But I was scared.
I know.
I mean, I was like, well, I feel kind of weird videoing myself, or maybe have someone else, but maybe just start by automatic writing is one step, and then kind of a stepping stone to maybe channeling someone, an energy or a loved one.
Yeah. I
But
love that.
I would want to know what my purpose would be. I think for me it was just to see if it would work, like video myself and to see if there's, and then play it back and be like, holy shit, did you see myself?
Yeah. My eyes rolled back.
My eyes are rolled back. Some kind of weird voice came out of me. No.
No, I know. I
don't
don't want
know.
to maybe do it with somebody. Like
Yeah.
almost.
Or a
that-
video. Maybe that's what we do. We do it together.
Yes.
A video of both of us with our eyes closed.
What I
One eye.
I know, look at us. We're all
We're
talking
just-
about spirits
I
and
know,
channeling and
God.
goddesses and all this shit, and then we're scared.
It's
We're like, we'll do
true.
it together.
We'll do it
We're gonna
together. You hold hands.
We're just gonna have one
And-
eye open.
We'll video it and show it to everybody. Nothing
Oh
happened.
my god, I love it.
But it would be interesting. So he got me intrigued enough to think, oh, maybe I could try it. Suzanne Giesman, same thing. She's talked about it, how her process starts off with writing, and she still does channel Sanaya in all these beautiful writings and messages. Lisa Williams does it, where she's channeling from her guides these beautiful messages that she types up and has it, and then reads it and sends it to everyone. It's beautiful, and it's not something that I'm going to sit and write. It might take me a month to write what they're writing,
Yeah,
but it just flows, and so that's channeling.
I love it. I love that because we're talking about channeling like the goddesses and channeling our spirit guides and archangels.
Yeah.
We're talking about channeling through automatic writing, using symbols or different kinds of writing imagery,
Yes. Yes.
And I think the only other time, and it took me a little while to understand that I was doing this, was, and I'm sure you do this with meditation. So when I'm creating the meditations for, like for my intuitive women's circles, I create a meditation very specifically for that theme. And every single time, it is not something I have planned.
Right.
It is always something that
Yes.
I'm connecting to the collective energy of the
Yes.
intuitive women, in our circles, and then all of a sudden this comes out, So it's a very interesting.
There's another airplane. Please stand by. It's so loud.
It's really loud. Oh my god!
I'm
We're
afraid,
gonna
like, if
see.
we play this back, we'd be like, I didn't hear a damn word you said. We had to wait for that plane. Sorry.
So then, no, it's funny because I think maybe that is kind of telling us, like, we both do that. You do it with your meditation meetups.
Yes.
You're just going, like, you don't know what's gonna.
I don't know what's going to come out my mouth.
And it's magical and it's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's exactly what.
And it is for the collective, and it is for the highest good. And then I'll get feedback afterwards. Someone will text me like, that is exactly what I needed to hear today. I had no idea, that, how did you know? And I'll be like, shit, I had no idea.
I know.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm starting we just had our last one this morning for the summer series. So I'm starting the next meditation meetups for the fall. It'll start September 14th. I'm going to do Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. And it's going to be, I'm going to do one that's completely spirit-led. And then the other one, I'm taking polls from my meditators that maybe have an area that they'd like help with. And then I'm going to design a meditation, of course, with spirit for these topics, I think.
Oh my God, I love
Yeah, I just wanted to try something else.
A little different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe fine tune because you've got
That's how I started, actually.
Oh,
I
okay.
would make the meditations or create them, and then I'd have the topics listed on what day was what, and then people would know what they were going to be doing. And then I feel like Spirit said, nope, we have to switch it, and then it became a live thing.
Wow.
So now we're doing both. Isn't that crazy?
It's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I think we need both.
Yeah.
Right? We need some spontaneity and some
Yeah.
divine, intervention with
Right.
meditation that you're tapping into that we don't know. So I think by doing that, you're allowing yourself to be really plugged in.
Right.
You know, like in the moment, right? I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, but you're right. It's a form of channeling when you're doing that.
Yeah.
When you're writing your meditations for your groups,
Yeah.
it's bringing in spirit. It's connecting to a higher power to say, okay, I'm open to the thoughts.
Yeah.
Tell me what I'm supposed to do, and it
Yeah.
just flows. I think this would help any light worker actually, for all that's listening. So maybe you're a teacher and you're trying to come up with, your curriculum, and maybe you have to have an assignment, and you're trying to create. Anytime you're trying to create, if we all stop for a moment and co-create with spirit and know that, okay, we can let God, lead us, or an angel, or my dad, or your loved one, I think things become more powerful.
Yeah.
And maybe we're all already doing it and don't even realize it. Authors who write their books,
Yeah.
some will say, I dedicate this book to my parents. I think some of that is also being channeled, but not knowing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
Intuitive, not consciously
Yeah.
aware. It's your words, it's your thoughts, but maybe we're being guided.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And how cool to have that awareness
Yeah.
now, right after listening to this, like saying, there are sometimes things that I do in my classroom that it surprises me, but I'm trusting in my intuition, and I'm trusting in the moment, and I'm allowing for, this intervention, this divine intervention to take place.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what the room needs to calm down or to get a concept or whatever, know. So I kind of burped. Did you see that?
I didn't see it. I could hear it. Oh, God.
But you gave me this beautiful detox tea, so like my whole body is like,
is it doing
whoa,
some weird stuff right now?
kind of gurgling a little.
Is it?
Kind of
It's that kind of detox?
Well, that's what do you think detox tea
Well, yeah,
is?
yeah.
Like it,
Of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can
But
feel my liver like clearing out.
Oh.
It's like, hi.
I'm gonna have to use my restroom to detox. I'll let ya.
A little bubble in my throat. I'm like, ooh, okay.
Oh.
Detox me, baby.
love
Let's do
it.
it. Sorry. Yes.
No, don't be
So,
sorry. I love it.
Yes, but we were talking about the channeling meditations, and it's been really interesting because I've been doing more and more of them over the course of the year. We've got a bunch of them, and I've had multiple people in the circle say to me, they were really, while they were listening to the meditation, they're like, it's not your voice. They're like, Manjeet, that didn't even sound like you in that meditation.
Ooh. Do you record them?
Yeah, and then I gift them after. So if
Do you
come
record
to
the live, or do you pre-record
I
and then play?
pre-record,
And then you play the recording?
then I play the recording.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, and then when we're done with the circle, I gift that one to you in a thank you email. So you'll have it for, to remember exactly what I said and how it worked. And then the more you play them, the more, you kind of feel that energy. But yeah, I typically always record them. But it's really weird because I've been hearing it more and more now that it doesn't even sound like me. And, we have pretty distinct voices. Like, we have a very, we're kind of giddy and like high, feminine,
Yeah.
But it's really interesting. They're like, it kind of threw me for the first minute or so, like, because it does not sound like you.
Really?
Yeah, and I just
Interesting.
but I think it's part of the channeling. It's part of the, and sometimes I'll do it in one take. Like I'll record 10 minutes in one, like just one go. And that's done and far fast. So because that's how I meditate.
Yeah.
I'm very, very quick with it. So I kind of move really fast in those meditations. I'm not a very slow.
Oh, God, you mean,
like take a deep breath.
oh yeah,
No.
I'm very slow.
Yeah.
I don't know about the live, the meetups, but like
Yeah.
when I record, I was slower in the beginning. And I don't know, I felt like spirit told me to slow down.
Yeah.
And for me, but and then the meetups, I don't know, but we meditate for 15 minutes.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's perfect.
Yeah, that's I always say. So it's a 20-minute. Like we are off by 7:20. I'm saying have a beautiful, glorious day at like 7:20 a.m.
love
Like
it.
done.
Oh my gosh.
So cool,
This is
right?
cool,
Yeah.
yeah.
What else? Is there anything else that we wanted to touch upon?
With channeling. No, I think that was, I mean,
Would you agree that anyone can do it?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I do think if you're open,
If you're open.
if you're open and you are, I mean, it's to me, it's kind of like being psychic or using your clairs. You know, if that is your intention and you're open hearted and you remove judgment around it, you know, I feel like it absolutely can happen.
Yes.
Don't you? Do you?
Yeah, I agree. And I know a lot of people will say, "Pff, I can't do that. I am not psychic. I cannot talk to angels or dead people." And you know, I can't channel, I can't automatic write, all those things. But I think that comes with, like you said, being open.
Yeah.
And we all have the same tools.
Yeah.
We've said it so many times. Everyone can be a light worker.
Yeah.
And everyone is. But knowing that you have spirit on your side, or knowing that there's a whole other realm or dimension that is here to support us, and that we can tap into it, we can use them for guidance. Or let's say you don't want to do any of that, but you are really want to know that your loved ones are okay, right, and that they're still with us, then maybe tap into them. Have your mom, you know, help you when you're cooking, or when you're a teacher, and maybe tap into your best friend, you know, that's in spirit. So I say we all have the tools, we all can do it, and it's going to look different for each person.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and it's kind of interesting because, you know, we're talking about tips and tricks, you know, of how to do this, of course, because we don't want to leave you hanging.
Yeah.
But but it's interesting because earlier we did voice our fear around it. You know what I mean? So it's like
Right. If I'm going to video myself sitting there waiting to be completely overtaken by a spirit, because that would then, I think we all think of the word possession.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Let's
Yes.
be yeah.
That's right. That's
Right.
what we're saying. And I'm not saying that I fear possession. I mean, that's just not an area that I even consider, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm talking. Yeah. Okay, ma'am. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Maybe I'm saying I don't want to be possessed
Right.
and have it captured on video. But do I really believe in possession? I mean, I guess it's talked about before. Am I in danger of being possessed? No, because I don't allow that at all. I don't even go there. It's not even top of mind.
Yeah.
But as we sat there and said we're kind of
Right.
scared,
Yeah.
we're scaring the shit out of our listeners.
Yeah.
Hey guys, everyone try this. See what happens.
You got it in you.
You all have the tools to make it happen.
Jesus. I know, I love this because, you know, there's this like liberation in doing this, right? But at the same time, I do think it is, you know, there is that hesitancy, there's that
Yeah.
fear, and I'm
Yeah.
sure, you know,
It's boundaries.
yeah.
It's back to being protection and
Yes.
boundaries.
Yeah.
Do
and,
everything,
and
yeah.
realizing, I think, that like as a light worker, we do work only in the love and light.
Yes.
We only work in the love and light. And so anytime, you know, we're just knocking on the door of our spiritual portfolio,
Yeah.
you know, trying stuff out, just bathing yourself in that beautiful, sovereign light, that purity, knowing that this is, nothing can hurt you here
Yeah.
because your intentions are good.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's all about intention. I just had a burst of love. That was so beautiful. Thank you.
Oh my God.
I just love that. I know, I'm looking at you. We're drinking our little coffee and tea out on the patio outside. Finally, first podcast ever together in person because of the damn pandemic. And we live far apart. But still, we were able to do this, and
Yes.
it's awesome. And is this our premiere of season 2? Or is that next week?
I think it's next week.
Okay.
It's coming. Yeah. I'm like, we should
I can't remember. No.
Please, hold,
Yeah.
please.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think we're getting really close to the end of season 1.
Yes, it's coming
So-
up.
And then season 2
2
is going to be badass.
So many changes,
So
so
many
many
cool things.
improvements. Yeah, we're finally getting it together. Compared to our like first one. Do you remember our first one? How scared we were? Anyway,
Hell
we'll
yeah.
talk about that in season 2.
I know, but I love doing these with you.
These are so fun.
I feel like just so connected to our listeners as well. And, you know, we have our discovery Lightworker sessions that we're going to
Yes.
be having for if you're interested in really looking deeper into your light worker ability, you can book a session with Mayume and I for 90 minutes. And we will help peel back some of the layers of fear.
Yeah.
And help shine the light,
Yeah.
maybe on your life in a perspective that you may not have seen before.
That's correct. I love it. Well said. It's true. So we figured that we've had some people ask if they could, have a reading with us, and it wasn't something that we did together per se. And we do different work separately with our own businesses, but we thought, with Lightworkers Unite, this podcast, which is podcast and social show, why wouldn't we? We started with the Goddess Gatherings. We're kind of doing that. Why wouldn't we sit with someone for 90 minutes and do a beautiful discovery session with you, where you can get some insight, tap into your spirit guides, maybe a departed loved one would show up. And give you some beautiful guidance to be that light worker that you already are.
Yes. And we'll be doing a drawing.
A drawing, yes.
Yes. So we can do a drawing.
Okay, everyone, we're going to draw a name now from our wonderful listeners. Whether you follow us on Podbean or Instagram, you're all included in this wonderful hat that I have here. Put all of your names in, and we're going to go ahead and select. So, Manjeet, you're going to go ahead. I'm going to hold the hat for you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Ready? Here we go.
I'm going to go. This is the winner of a discovery session
with Manjeet and Mayume.
It is Moline from Medina, Washington, Monica, California, I think.
Really? Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Maureen. I know who that is. That name, the name Maureen. She is my old babysitter from a long time ago. My gosh. She's
Maureen.
Maureen won.
You're the winner of a Discovery Light session.
Beautiful. She'll love it.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So we're going to reach out to you.
We're going to reach out to you.
And we'll set up a time where we can get together and book 90 minutes of just deep dive and find out how are you, what's going on, and how can we be in service of you.
I love it. Yay. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. My girls will die. Congratulations, Maureen. All right, everybody.
Congratulations. We love you.
We love you guys. Thanks for joining in, and we'll see you. We'll hear you. No, see you. You'll hear us next week. All right. Namaste.